Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. You know me by now. My name is Penny Shadikwetle and I am a transformation life coach. So we've been handling the topic of communication, and I mentioned how important it is to be responsible even in our communication. You know, a lot of relationships are ruined or are just on life support because we don't know how to communicate. I mean, people are just so triggered that whatever you say, it gets interpreted in a wrong way because we read minds a lot in our communication. There is a lot of mind reading, and I believe that mind reading is disrespectful because you can't assume to know what another person's internal state is by not asking question. You are just observing, and then from there you make an interpretation of what that person state of mind is. It is very dangerous, to say the least. So we need to build a society that is more open to communicating in a better way. We are human beings. We are human becoming in a way, and there is a room to learn how to do this life in a better way, because we have been created to learn how to become one. We come from oneness, and the only way we can learn how to be one with one another, how to be in unity, is by learning how to communicate. Relationships are very important because it is going into our social status. We need to be in communion. We sometimes we even know how to talk better to the creator more than talking to the people around us. We are reactive when we have to communicate with the people around us, and sometimes it's intentional because we want to sulk and be in our own zone by not wanting the other person to talk to us, because we can even think that he must just not talk to me, he must leave me alone. But we need to communicate. We need to be in communion. We need to be in fellowship. It starts at home with our families. It starts in our friendships, so that even when we go to the workplace, when we go to business environment, we already know how to communicate. Sometimes we can be so inauthentic as a human being. We are two different people. When we are at work, we are different. We laugh, we joke around with our colleagues, with our friends, but when we come at home, we are so different. We sit in our corner, we mind our own business. It's like we don't want to engage. Can you imagine that we come into relationship with the intention to spend our lives together with this person that we're in relationship with, but we are not able to communicate effectively, or we prefer not to communicate because we know that if I can just say one thing, he's gonna read me out of context. He's gonna take me out of context. It's gonna start an argument, so I'll rather stay in my corner. It is so sad what we have become. So I mentioned in the last video that as human beings, we interpret the world around us from the five senses: the smell, and the sounds, the touch, the taste, and the seeing. So a lot of information, we observe it from the external. There's a lot of information that comes in our reality, whether by something that we see, something that we hear, or something that we sense, something that we feel. It's a lot of information that is bombarding us on a daily basis. But in NLP, neuro linguistic programming, that's why it becomes a neurological thing, because what we see on the eyesight get filtered in our brain, and from what we observe, there's a whole lot of information that we observe and we see in the world outside of us, but then our filtering system will filter that information to bits of information, and that is also maybe for our protection, that our mind don't get to use interpret a whole lot of information. So that's how we see the world around us. That's how we sense the world around us, through our five senses, and it's very limiting. It's very limited, but that's what it is, and that's what we need to deal with. A lot of us are having a primary representational system, and that's what it's called in NLP. Those representational system is the world of the modalities of the five senses. So in neuro-linguistic programming, we call it representational system. Each and every one of us has their own specific main representational system. There are four. So we operate on those based on our conditioning, how we grew up. We learn to perceive the world around us on that. We are different like that, but it doesn't mean that the other is better than the another. It just means that this is how I am currently processing information. This is how I am communicating myself to the world outside of me, or this is how I receive information. So it's visual, it's auditory, it's kinesthetic, and it's AD. Auditory AD. So those are the main four ways. It's generalization, yes, but based on the research, they came up with those four. It can change based on the amount of work we are doing. If you are involved in personal development or in a spiritual journey, your primary representational system can change from time to time. So starting with the people that are visual. People who are visual learn and communicate by making pictures. So they see pictures in their mind. That's how they perceive. So when you're talking to someone who is a visual person, it is pointless to throw at them lots of information, because they're not going to hear you. Because they learn by what they see, and they communicate by drawing. There are people who are very good at faces. They see someone's face one time, and they are more likely to remember them. So those are the people also that they prefer to communicate face to face, because they want to see, they want to be visual about what you are receiving, how you're receiving the information, by maybe the body language that you are displaying. So those are visual people. And can you imagine if even at our schools, even at our workplace, if we learned to understand how people communicate, our world will be better. We will be better as a society, because there will be less commotions, and there will be less conflict, because we will understand the strength of other people. And those are the visual people. They learn like that. Most of the architect, when you talk to an architect or an engineering, they want to draw, and even when we give them direction, they want to draw the direction on a piece of paper, and it will get them there, because they are like that, and they're very good with memory. And when we talk about the people that are auditory, is the people that hear sounds. They will listen to the sound of your voice, your tone. They want lots of information. When you talk to them, they need to hear as much information as possible. And like again, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just how they are. They are the people that are likely to count with their hands, because that's just who they are. They want to hear, and they want to hear as much information as possible before they can make up their mind. Very that's how they are. And the third one is a kinesthetic. Kinesthetic are the feelers. These are the people that get into a place and they just sense the vibes. So they are intuitive. They sense by their skin. They sense by the imprinting, the impression that they get from their body. So these are the people, like I say, they will get a sense of what you are saying by how it makes them feel. And these are the people that also buy on emotion, because they will buy based on how you are making them feel, you know. So that is who they are, and that is their strength, you know. And the last category is the auditory AD. So it's the auditory but coupled with the mind clutter. So these people are the people that are in the mind a lot. They want to make sense of what you're saying to them. You can be talking to these people, they can hear the sound of your voice, but they're also already picturing in their mind. They are also the self-talk, and they self-talk a lot, and most of the people are in this category. So it's the people that will, when you talk, they're already making plans in their mind. So they're not good at taking notes, because obviously you're throwing at them a lot of information. They use their mind to occupy a lot of information. And even after you finish talking to them, they will be thinking about what you said in their mind. Maybe they will even then start to write things down. I'm also like that. That's how I know, because I tend to take notes. I take notes when you're talking to me, and also if, especially if I'm excited about something that you are saying to me, I would not be able to take notes, because I will be listening with excitement, but at the same time I'm trying to work it out in my mind how it's going to work, and it can be very tiring. It can cause a lot of procrastination, because there's so much information overload. There's also an element of perfectionism as well. So how I counter that? So you'll know that based on my representational system, and most of the people can filter. I mean, I filter around all of them, but the main one is the auditory AD. So I have auditory AD, which is the highest point, and I have kinesthetic, which is the second, and visual. Sorry, not kinesthetic. The next is auditory, and kinesthetic, and the last one is visual. So I filter across all of them, but the main one is auditory AD. So to curve my need to make sense of the information that I am receiving, and trying to work it out in my mind, what I do, I plan a lot. I write down a lot. I force myself to plan, because if I don't do that, I will never manifest anything. So that's what I'm doing. I write down. I plan my week on Sunday. I already know on Sunday what I'm going to do the following week. So I know that this is my plan for the entire Sunday. So I will write everything on Sunday, on the entry of Sunday, and I already plan on Monday. This is what I'm gonna do, so that I avoid the procrastination, because it can cause a lot of setback and a lot of delay if you don't do it like that. If you are an auditory AD person, so that's mainly why. I mean, I just don't share these things just because I want to share. I share them so that you can be empowered. I'm an empowerment coach. I'm a personal development coach. I'm a life purpose coach. So when I give information already, I'm empowering you to start doing the work on yourself. So this is the groundwork that I do. When I start coaching, I get to determine what my client's strongest primary representational system is, so that I know how to coach them appropriately. I work on their strengths rather than frustrating the client and forcing them to do what they are not able to do. It's not that they're not able to do, but it is not their strength, and that causes a lot of delay, that causes a lot of commotion, that causes a lot of misunderstanding. So that is primarily what I wanted to talk about today, about those four primary representational system. Each and every one of us have it, and there's a way of finding out. It's by asking questions. So, and also reading about this primary representational system. But if you would like to have a complimentary session or a free session, we can book a session, and we can delve deeper into that in terms of establishing your primary representational system. So I offer free discovery session, usually is about 30 to 45 minutes. The main reason why I do that is not to attempt to solve a problem at once. The reason why I do that is to check and see if you will be a suitable client, or I will be your suitable coach for you, because we're different. It is no use starting a relationship knowing that we're gonna fail going forward. That's why I have a free session. It is mainly for that reason, that I can establish compatibility between my coaching program and me as a coach, because also I emit different vibes to another coach. You can sense me in a different way. Maybe I might not be your cup of tea or your kind of coach. It is okay. It is very frustrating to start working with someone who is not feeling you as a coach, or to start to coach someone who's just not cooperative. So that's the main reason why I offer a free coaching session, to determine that I will be able to coach you as your coach, or you will be suitable as a client for me, and we will make magic together in a coaching system. I'll catch you later with the final episode of communication. We will be talking about proactive confrontation. A lot of people don't like confrontation, myself included, because we have a wrong misconception. We have a misconception about confrontation. We rather wait until a thing gets into a conflict. Now it's into chaos. We're not able to handle it. Our communication is charged now. People's emotions are high. So we will be talking more about that. I was just getting you excited to tune in to my next video. This is Penny Kwatle signing out. Mwah.